neighbors since we moved in here. We've lived here for 2 years in May, and quite literally we've had a plethora. We've had two, the people that live there now and the people that lived there before. But the people that lived there before were crazy, and I mean that with the most honesty I could possibly give somebody. They were nuts, and like, it was just wild to me, honestly. Like, so okay, so I'm obviously gonna be fake names. All of this is like hypothetical, alleged. I don't know what the actual word is here, but so when we moved here, there were people who lived right here. Nobody else. Well, I guess a couple other people have been new, but mainly the new people were have moved over here. So I actually don't know the people who used to live there's name, and you'll understand why in a minute. So when we moved, there was, like, when I tell you the first time I saw these neighbors originally when we moved in here, there were like 47 of them, and that's not a joke. It was like a clown car of people coming out of this house. Like, and for the longest time I was like, why are there so many people like exactly the same age? And I'm talking like everybody's like around my age, like 21, like maybe like 19 to like 27. Like, they're all like the exact same like little age group, but they're like clearly not living, like they're not friends, or they're not like family. They're like, because they all look entirely different, they all acted like totally different, and I was like, okay, weird. But I'm really like a mind your business kind of person. Like, don't start anything, there won't be anything, like just mind your business. But they had the loudest group of people. It was unreal. Every once in a while there would be a woman who would show up with like 3 kids, like 3 like little kids. Like, I don't even think some of them were old enough to be in school. So they would all come to like over here, and their car, like, this is how I knew it was kind of sketch. Their car would stay there, but they would not, right? Like, somebody would come pick them up and they would leave, but they would leave the car there, and that car would stay there until they eventually came back. They would stay like overnight, and they would leave at like 3 in the morning, and they would like drive off with the car. Allegedly, I actually don't know if this is true. I'm pretty sure it is, but I actually don't know this. I think they were selling drugs, and it's not like a thing or like a profile or anything. Like, I just genuinely think that, because so where we live, there are like 200 plus lots in this area, and there's one way in and there's one way out of this complex, right? Like, it's the same, you have the same main road in this complex, and you leave and you come in the same way. So like, you know, you leave like this, it's the same entrance / exit. There is no other way out, there's no other way in. Like, that's it. So all 200 plus households come in and out the exact same way. So you really don't know who's in here, like, in the non-sketchiest way possible. Like, you have no idea, because there's so many houses and there's so many people that live in each household that like you would have no clue who, you know, like, I mean, unless you recognize cars. And even then, like, neighbors or like friends or like visitors or whatever, you have no clue. So I literally was like, alright, this is kind of weird, right? Like, I feel kind of weird about this whole situation. So whole situation kind of goes down, whatever. And what would happen was a different car would come in every like 20 minutes, and this would guy's name, but I honest to God don't remember the girl's name as long as I am sitting in this room. I think I'm gonna make up a name. Her name's gonna be Taylor, and his name's gonna be Steven. I don't know, whatever. So Steven works like a I don't know what he actually does. I think he's like a mechanic or something. And Taylor works at home. And Steven's cousins live at the lot right beside them. And then he's got his aunt and cousins. And then he's got other family that live in this complex as well. So they're very, very nice, right? But they have parties. Oh my god, they have parties, and their parties are so loud. And they have parties in the outside parties. Oh, parties outside. And I'm talking like parties, like loud blaring music at night, like whatever, right? And I want to preface, I'm not a cop caller, I'm not a leasing office caller, I'm not a go tell you to shut the hell up person. Like, I don't care. Like, I don't, like whatever. I might be annoyed as shit, but I'm just gonna be annoyed. I'm gonna put my headphones in and I'm gonna go to bed. I don't care. But they are loud. Now that it's cold, they're not really doing what they were. But like in the summer, oh my god, they were so loud. But they had beef with the people who live directly behind us. To be fair, the people who live directly behind us have beef with everybody. Literally everybody. And the guy that's over there is terrified of our dogs, which is so funny. And then the guy that lives on this side, he has 3 dogs, and they are entirely off-leash trained. And I'm talking like completely off-leash trained. And there's like 2 that were puppies like a couple months ago. Like now they're like they're still young, but they're not like. But he's got one that's a little bit older. Not an old dog by any means. And that dog is the most well-trained dog I have ever met in my life. And I swear down, that dog is crazily well-trained. This guy back here, I think might just be genuinely afraid of dogs. I don't really know what his deal is. But he called the leasing office and said that their dog, I'm gonna call him, I only know the dog's name, I don't even know the owner's name. I'm gonna call the dog Max, I don't know, whatever. He called the leasing office and said Max is off a leash, and like in my yard and like walking around where they used to play, there's like a strip of grass. When I say strip, I mean a strip in between the 2 like lots, and it's basically like open area, right? So he used to take Max and go out back out here and throw the ball down this like a strip of grass, until this guy, I don't know his name either, called the leasing office and was like, Max is just like playing ball off leash all over the place, like I'm scared, blah, blah, blah. So the leasing office sent out like a general message to everybody that was like, you can't have off leash dogs, you have to this, that, this. Well, one of my dogs is off leash trained as well, like full recall, like the whole 9, right? So I still take her off leash because like she listens to me perfectly, but my boyfriend doesn't take her off leash anymore because he just doesn't feel comfortable. We're also just like super ready to move. We hate living here now. But this guy he's got 3 dogs. I only know the name of one of them, but he takes Max and the 2 other puppies, and there's a giant open field over here. Like, I'm talking a huge open field, and he takes them over there like 2 or 3 times a day and throws a ball, and they all go chase it and like whatever. I'm just like, you literally cannot let this man live to save his life. Like, come on, dude. But we also have, sorry, I'm exhausted. We also have an actual problem with people and like stray dogs. Like, we've taken in, I think 3 stray dogs since we've lived here. We've also tried to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, at least like 8 or 9, about 10 dogs. Genuinely, as soon as they crest this hill with their lights on, not even turned down this road yet,